Hello everyone, welcome to Whispers of Time YouTube channel. Today, we dive into the extraordinary life of one of the most influential artists of our generation. This is not just a story about fame or success, but a journey of dreams, struggles, reinvention, and the power of finding your own voice. Through music, words, and courage, she changed culture, inspired millions, and proved that storytelling can shape the world. This is the life story of Taylor Swift. Taylor Allison Swift is one of the most influential artists of the modern era, not only because of her record-breaking success, but because of the way she reshaped music, storytelling, and artistic independence. Her life is a journey of courage, constant evolution, emotional honesty, and an unshakable belief in the power of words. From a quiet childhood in Pennsylvania to becoming a global cultural force, Taylor Swift's story is not just about fame. It is about finding one's voice, losing it, fighting to reclaim it, and using it to inspire millions around the world. Taylor Allison Swift was born on December 13, 1989, in Reading, Pennsylvania, and grew up in the nearby town of Wyomissing. She was raised in a supportive family environment where creativity and ambition were encouraged. Her father, Scott Swift, worked as a financial advisor, while her mother, Andrea Swift, played a crucial role in nurturing Taylor's artistic dreams. From a very young age, Taylor showed an unusual sensitivity to emotions and stories. She loved fairy tales, poetry, and music, especially country songs that told clear, emotional stories. As a child, Taylor struggled with feelings of isolation and being different. Music became her safe space. She began performing at local events, fairs, and talent shows, often singing cover songs with confidence beyond her years. When she was around 12 years old, a simple moment changed her life forever. A computer repairman visiting her house showed her a few guitar chords. That guitar quickly became her companion, a tool through which she could express feelings she didn't yet have words for. Taylor began writing songs almost immediately after learning to play the guitar. Unlike many children her age, she didn't just imitate popular songs. She wrote about her own experiences, small moments, crushes, disappointments, and dreams. Her songwriting revealed an emotional depth that set her apart early on. She wasn't chasing fame yet. She was chasing understanding and connection. By the time Taylor was 14, her passion for music had become a serious pursuit. Her family made a bold and life-altering decision to move to Nashville, Tennessee, the heart of the country music industry. This move was not guaranteed to bring success. It required financial sacrifice, emotional adjustment, and faith in a young girl's dream. Taylor attended high school during the day and spent her afternoons walking from music offices to studios, trying to get noticed as a songwriter. Rejection became a regular part of her life. Many people told her she was too young, that her songs were too personal, or that she didn't fit the industry's expectations. Instead of being discouraged, Taylor used rejection as fuel. At just 14 years old, she became the youngest songwriter ever signed by Sony ATV Music Publishing. This was a major achievement, but Taylor wanted more than writing songs for others. She wanted to tell her own stories in her own voice. Her turning point came when she met Scott Borchetta, who was starting an independent label called Big Machine Records. Taylor became the first artist signed to the label, placing her future in the hands of a brand new company. It was a risk, but one rooted in mutual belief. Together, they prepared to introduce Taylor Swift to the world. In 2006, at the age of 16, Taylor released her self-titled debut album. The album was deeply personal, written largely by Taylor herself, and rooted in country music, traditions. Songs like Tim McGraw, Teardrops on My Guitar, and Our Song captured the emotions of teenage life with rare honesty. Her lyrics spoke directly to young listeners who felt unseen and unheard. The album was a commercial success and established Taylor as a rising star in country music. More importantly, it created a unique bond between Taylor and her audience. Fans didn't just listen to her songs, they saw themselves in them. Taylor became known not only for her music, but for her authenticity. As her popularity grew, so did expectations. In 2008, Taylor released her second album, Fearless, which marked a major leap forward in her career. The album blended country and pop elements more boldly and expanded her audience worldwide. Songs like Love Story and You Belong With Me became global hits, dominating radio and music charts. Fearless was a defining moment. It won Album of the Year at the Grammy Awards, making Taylor the youngest artist at the time to receive that honor. At only 20 years old, she stood on top of the music world. Yet success came with pressure. Critics questioned her talent, her songwriting, and her image. Taylor learned quickly that fame invites constant judgment. In 2009, one of the most controversial moments of her career unfolded on a global stage when her award acceptance speech was interrupted at the MTV Video Music Awards. The incident placed Taylor at the center of a massive media storm. Suddenly, she was no longer just a young artist. She was a symbol, scrutinized from every angle. The experience deeply affected her, teaching her harsh lessons about public perception and vulnerability. Instead of allowing the moment to define her negatively, Taylor turned inward and used the experience to grow. In 2010, she released Speak Now, an album written entirely by herself. This was a deliberate statement meant to silence critics who doubted her songwriting abilities. The album explored themes of regret, apology, longing, and emotional maturity. It showcased Taylor's growth as both a person and an artist. As she entered her early 20s, Taylor faced emotional complexity and heartbreak that shaped her next album. Released in 2012, Red captured the chaos of young adulthood. The album blended genres more boldly than ever before, mixing country, pop, and alternative influences. Songs like All Too Well revealed a raw emotional depth that resonated deeply with listeners. Although Red did not win Album of the Year at the Grammys, it later became one of the most critically respected albums of her career. It represented a transitional phase, both personally and musically. In 2014, Taylor made one of the boldest decisions of her life. She fully transitioned from country music to pop with the release of 1989. Inspired by 1980s pop sounds, the album was a massive commercial success. Hits like Shake It Off, Blank Space, and Style dominated global charts. 1989 earned Taylor her second Grammy for Album of the Year, making her the first woman to win the award twice. She had successfully reinvented herself. However, this era also brought intense media scrutiny, criticism, and backlash. Taylor was constantly watched, analyzed, and judged. After public feuds and personal struggles, Taylor disappeared from the public eye for a time. When she returned in 2017, it was with Reputation, an album that embraced darkness, defiance, and rebirth. The album explored themes of revenge, identity, and self-protection. It was a bold statement of survival. As the years passed, Taylor began to seek healing and balance. In 2019, she released Lover, an album centered on love, vulnerability, and acceptance. The album reflected emotional growth and a softer perspective on life. Yet behind the scenes, a major battle was unfolding. When the ownership of her early music masters was sold without her consent, Taylor lost control over the recordings that defined her life's work. Instead of remaining silent, she spoke openly about the pain and injustice she felt. Then she made a historic decision. She would re-record her albums and reclaim her art. This move changed the music industry. By re-recording her albums, Taylor empowered artists around the world and challenged long-standing power structures. During the global pandemic, Taylor surprised the world by releasing Folklore and Evermore, two introspective albums rooted in storytelling and alternative folk sounds. These albums marked a creative rebirth and earned widespread critical acclaim. Folklore won Album of the Year, making Taylor the first artist in history to win the award 3 times. In 2022, Taylor released Midnights, an album exploring sleepless nights, self-reflection, and inner conflict. The album broke numerous records and reaffirmed her dominance in the industry. She then launched the Eras Tour, celebrating every chapter of her career and becoming one of the highest-grossing tours of all time. Today, Taylor Swift stands as more than a musician. She is a cultural force, a businesswoman, a storyteller, and an advocate for artistic ownership. Her influence reaches far beyond music charts. She has reshaped how artists connect with fans, how stories are told through song, and how creators fight for their rights. In conclusion, Taylor Swift's life is a powerful testament to perseverance, reinvention, and self-expression. From a young girl with a guitar to one of the most influential figures in global culture, her journey proves that authenticity and courage can change the world. Her story is still being written, but one thing is certain: Taylor Swift's voice will continue to echo through generations, reminding people everywhere that their stories matter.